If you want to have a summit meeting aimed at protecting Europe from migration, then where better to hold it than a fortress on an island in the middle of the Mediterranean? And so the dozens of European and African leaders arrived in Valletta with agendas which didn't really appear to match. The Europeans were trying to paint the migration crisis as an opportunity to make Africa a bit richer and a bit better run, with a trust fund of more than $2 billion to spread around.
But it's not only about money. I want to make it very clear. This is about building opportunities for people, protecting people's lives, fighting against criminal networks that exploit people's desperation, and doing this together. I think together is the key word of this summit.
Some African states, though, wanted better ways of helping people already in Europe to send money back, better ways of helping managed migration.
Europe and Africa are partners linked by geography and history, and through our partnership we must look at the migration question in a lucid way.
This summit was only called at all after the tragedy in April, when 800 died in a single incident at sea off the Italian island of Lampedusa. Underneath the promises of more money lies a different agenda: better to keep people in Africa than have them risk it all at sea. That is either a humanitarian message or a way of defending Fortress Europe. Many EU summits end with the can simply being kicked down the road, but Europe's leaders can't afford to let that happen this time. Such is their sense of urgency about reducing migration flows. Grand promises of making Africa richer, more livable for its most destitute may or may not ever come to anything, but the absolute priority here is increasing border security inside Africa to stop people getting to the sea in the first place. The plans to police internal borders inside Africa are far less well sketched out, but they may involve European border guards in other countries. Worse, human rights groups say it could mean European countries providing money to countries like Eritrea or Sudan with terrible human rights records to keep people in.
What's happening in the margins? Some of these bilateral agreements completely in secret with no procedural or human rights safeguards. Some of the countries with whom they're negotiating have no adequate asylum systems, have very dire human rights records in themselves. So the fact that those negotiations are taking place completely in silence and behind closed doors is a matter obviously of deep concern.
Of course, since the summit was even called, the other migration route through Greece and the Balkans became the predominant one this year. And to reinforce the sense of Europe shutting down, even moderate Slovenia has now begun rolling out the barbed wire to control refugees and migrants. Europe mostly sees people on both routes as increasingly unwelcome. Lawrence Lee, Al Jazeera, Valletta.